We are live. This is, kind of cool to be happening on a trending Thursday. Let me just get some of those buttons off there. We are good to go. We have missed everyone. It has been a long 2 weeks. We're going to get a little bit into that, but good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, trending Thursday, and so much trending, but we're not really going to talk about necessarily what's trending, because I think it's trending that we are back after, a 2 weeks emotional time. And I'm going to leave that up to my better half to chat about that. But good morning, everyone. This is Carol, so AKA Naughty Boss, live with
TwoSistas, and good morning, everyone. My name is Janis, AKA Wellness Diva 5.0. And yes, we've been on a, a hiatus, I guess you can say, for a little over 2 weeks. Our last broadcast was Monday, July 19th. Unbeknownst to me at that time, I'm just going to get right into it. So we'll cover all of that. My son took a bad fall, and it actually happened on Monday, July 19th. I did not find out until about 2 a.m. The morning of Tuesday, July 20th. And the message that I got was, Ryan had a stroke and he's in emergency surgery. And I screamed. Needless to say, it was a very emotional, heart-wrenching, like, what? Like I had to read it a couple times. I screamed. My husband came out and he's like, "What's wrong?" I showed him the message. He's like, we were frantic, needless to say. Scrambled to get to Philly. He was in ICU for about a week and a half. Very long story short, because I don't want to take up all the time. He fell, obviously. He suffered a full skull fracture. He's missing part of the left part of the skull. He last night was transferred to a brain injury rehab. He has what's called a traumatic brain injury. We still don't know really the reason why he fell. So I came home last night, and, here we are today, getting back into the groove of things. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, and obviously I'm a little bit emotional about it, which I think is very normal. Mm-hmm. From the moment that I read that text message to where I am today, the love and support, not only from my husband, when I made that phone call at 2 a.m. to you, Carol Sue, and I don't even remember what I said, quite frankly, to all my other siblings, Claudine, Francis, Victor, and their respective spouses, my friends, my extended family, my extended friends who are my family, to my cousins, Richard and Monica, Lucia, Avelina, and Richie Jr., who really took such great care to make sure that I was well taken care of during this crazy time. I was staying with my cousins, Richard and Monica, and I'm just eternally grateful for the continued prayers, and we will keep you, of course, updated. And that's obviously why we have not been broadcasting for about 2 weeks, but we, we are back. And we're just going to dive right into it, because today is Thursday, Trending Thursday, a lot of trending topics. So of course, what's trending for me is doing a lot of research on brain injuries and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, where he's staying is a great facility, and Richie and Monica's children actually went there when they all had concussions. So I feel great knowing that my son is in a really good place. So learning about new things. So that is what is trending for me, trying to get my feet established and grounded again. And it's all good. So what's trending in your neck of the woods?
Well, first off, I just want to add to that, when you did call, ironically, I was at the Cape, as you remember, and I woke up abruptly at exactly 1:39, and you actually called me before 2 a.m., which you don't realize, because it was about 10 minutes. I kept saying, why am I, like, when I say wake up, that something woke me up out of a dead sleep. Maybe it was mom and dad saying, Jan needs you, she's going to call. But it was just one of those very surreal moments when I looked and I actually saw your number pop up. And I knew at that moment, this was going to be life-changing in the sense of not really knowing what the direction was going to be. And I have to say, when you as a parent, when you get that phone call in the morning, regardless of what the news is, you're been awakened by from a dead, peaceful sleep to, in your body and your mind, which we always talk about, with all encompasses of health and wellness, is not only are you not prepared to hear that news, your body is not full alert. Your mind, your mental acuteness almost is not even freshly awakened yet to even comprehend a lot of that. And I think, we did scramble a little bit naturally, which any family would. But, the resilience of, staying on the course, staying on the focus. There's still some unanswered things. Did he collapse? Did he, have a seizure? The good thing is they're slowly ruling out pretty much almost 100%. I think you said not quite, but pretty much that it wasn't a stroke. But then you go back to the root of, we've got to find out. And in some degree, does it matter? Well, it does matter in the sense of, obviously, if he was having a seizure or something. But the point being that family rallied, your loved ones rallied to, help in need. And that in itself is very comforting. I know initially when we chatted, you were going to drive and, we said, that's just not doable. I mean, emotionally, the journey is lonely. You're going through your mind, you're reliving things like, and especially in the beginning where you don't have all the facts, you don't have all the information. There was a lot of, miscommunications because so many people were involved. You had witnesses, you had really trying to nut and bolt, cross the T's, dot the I's. So, and then, instantly, how ironic, we're thinking of the location and, Richie and Monica immediately popped in my head now. I'm sure they don't live far from there. I remember when we chatted with them that, it was only about 20 to 30 minutes. So, they were gracious enough to, rally and, have you stay there for the 2 weeks and take care of you, which from my perspective was comforting to knowing that you weren't alone, because just of semantics, I couldn't get there. Especially where I was only a couple hours out, I still could not manage to get there. And, it's a new path, a new normal, and there's going to be so many unknowns. But the good news is, you sent the video of him doing some activity with word association and throwing a ball at the same time. These are little things that you kind of take for granted, but they are the necessary stepping stones to get that person healthy and whole again. And I have no doubt, that he's going to have a full recovery. That's what everyone prays for. And, we're going to keep our viewers and listeners updated because, obviously we are all about transparency, health and wellness, and things that we are accountable to when you have a derailment, So, we had a derailment. Obviously, it had to be the way it was. I was going to attempt. I could easily do it live on our Facebook page, but we always joke around how Jan knows the technical piece to it. And, this week was the week that if things were going to go and you were going to stay, I was going to tackle that. Now, was that something out of my comfort zone? Absolutely. But that's what life happens. Life pushes us in different directions. And the important thing is that you have a bunch of people in your circle that are going to lift you up, when you're down, or going to keep you lifted up when you need another little push. And that's the point of, what I think about when I think about Trending Thursday. There's so much going on in our world, things that are not out of control. And I think something as momentous as this is, it really puts into perspective what's trending is you're not in control. You're just not in control. You're not in control of an accident. You're not in control of, something like that happening. There are certain things that we are in control, but the most part of the journey, and I think that's part of the journey, is knowing that you're not really in control, but what you are in control of is how you're going to respond, how you're going to react, and how you're going to recover in a healthy manner. And, it's that point where a lot of us, I think women as a whole can relate to this, and men too, is nobody likes to ask for help. I don't know why that is, but I think we all feel like we should be able to carry the load. We should be able to say, oh, I'm having a crappy day. I'm going through this tough situation right now. I need your help. And yet you just, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So you reached out and everyone rallied. And that's the point I think that we want to leave everybody today with, is knowing that when you go through something traumatic, even something really good going on in your life, but then something derails it, and you're thinking, I'm in this postured position right now, I should be able to handle it. There's nothing wrong with reaching out. Extend the olive branch. Hey, I need help. I'm in a crisis mode, or I don't know what to do, or can you help me? Can you help me do this research while I'm doing this research? And I think the problem with humanity as a whole is so afraid to say, I don't think I can do this alone. Don't you think, Jan, to a certain degree?
Yes, I really do, because I think one of the things that I said to you before I left for Philly that day was, I'm a giver, and for me, for me to ask for help was difficult. But then I took a deep breath, and I did work out that morning because I was a mess. Waiting for information, but I did work out. And as I was walking around, I felt the presence of love and acceptance that, it was not that I needed authority or whatever to accept help, but that I felt, okay, I'm asking for help because I need help, and that's okay. So the message that I would like to leave with that I think it's really important, when you are in whatever type of a situation where you feel that you need to ask for help, it is okay. And I've always said family rallies, and holy moly, you just would not believe, literally heaven and earth was moved that morning for me to make it to Philly. Now, the funny part, and there's always a funny part, there's always a blessing. I had about 45 minutes to catch the train to Philly.
I'm not going to lie. I was a little like nail biter on that one, because, I was obviously trying to communicate with the family. Don't message her now. She's got to pack. She's got to do all this stuff. So that was a nail biter from my end. So I can only imagine how it was on your end.
Right. So I had this little, poor Gary. Oh my God, the love of my life, my soulmate. Poor guy was running around the house looking for, we just could not find the luggage. So I had this like carry-on type of luggage, which, I use a lot when I take my laptop. And I said, it's okay. I initially was thinking, I'm only going to be there for a couple of days or whatever I was thinking at that time. Threw my laptop in there. And honestly, I don't know what else I threw in there. Obviously, I was wearing my clothes I was wearing that day. I threw a couple things in there. Don't even recall what I threw in there. And as I'm on the train, Monica had said, hey, do me a favor, let me know when you're on the train. I just want to make sure, because you have a short amount of time. So I said, I'm on the train. And I said, I have no idea what I packed. I don't even think I packed my toothbrush. she said, don't worry about it. And she asked me what size I wore. And I'm thinking to myself, why is she asking me what size? So I told her, and I just, I was totally out of it, quite frankly. I was really emotionally out of it. And she and her daughters, they got up right away. They went out shopping for me, bought a couple of outfits, snacks for the hospital, a toothbrush, toothpaste. And no, I did not pack it.
Well, it's true, because we were messaging, Monica and I were messaging, and she said, well, blah, blah, blah. And I had to think for a second, I'm like, why does she need clothes? And I wasn't even thinking, what do you mean? She must have backed some clothes. But in the midst of all that, I wasn't even thinking of that. So we were going over some list of things that you like, and you have gluten sensitivity. So we wanted to make sure that you had all those yummy treats. And they were truly a godsend. Not only taking care of you, but they, what I kept really impacting upon her and Richie was, that's a sense of relief for us. That you had somebody local there, that you weren't in a hotel room by yourself, that you could go there and be comforted and be loved and be taken care of. And, these are our first cousins. And it's so funny. I often say, your cousins, besides your siblings, are your first best friends forever. And it's a relationship where we all are spread out all over the United States. But when we have to rally, even though we may only see each other a few times a year, sadly, sometimes it's for, a sad event, sometimes it's for a happy event. But because we all live busy lives, we have, mostly adult children now, we're all over the place. And the fact that doesn't matter, it's never awkward asking for help, or, it's just like we pick up where we left off as almost as kids, but we're adults. So kudos to both of them. And we were so grateful that they were there for you.
They were amazing. And, Lucia cleaned out her car. I was using her car, a really nice little Honda. I'm not sure what brand. They had the GP, they had everything set up. It was amazing. And then at some point, I was using Avelina's car. Same type of a car, but they said, look, it's totally different. It's, you're going to feel the bumps. And I'm like, I don't care. I mean, I'm so grateful that they, everything that, oh my God, that they did for me, and for Ryan to, get me to where I needed to go. So I get in Avelina's car the other day, and she had the GPS set up for me. So I start to drive out, and all of a sudden I hear, don't be alarmed by the sounds in the trunk. And I'm like, what the?
Oh God, that would have freaked me out.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, now I'm starting to effing hear things. What the hell is going on? At the end of the street, turn left onto Spur Road. It was a very ghoulish, and I'm like, what the frig is
voice?
It was the GPS voice. But
oh my God, I would have freaked out.
It freaked me out. So when I got home that night, I walk in, Avelina says, so how was my car? And I said, your car freaked me out, quite frankly, but I'm so grateful. She says, what happened? And she started, oh my God, I had them rolling. I'm like, all of a sudden I hear, don't be alarmed by the sounds in the trunk.
I know. Why would it say the sounds in the trunk though?
Well, the voice was, I guess it's called Dr. Death or Dr.
Oh my God.
It's from a movie or something. So, I would be in traffic, and the voice would say, why don't we take a detour to the boneyard?
Oh my God. Well, it's kind of weird, creepy, funny. I mean,
it was funny.
Right. God has a way of, bringing, laughter. We always say laughter heals all, even in the sense of adversity and or a traumatic experience or a serious situation as this was. You need those moments to, express, whether it's, tears coming down, and we know you can cry happy tears or sad tears. But that God puts things in a position where you get what you need at that moment. And, maybe a little, humor is what you needed just to kind of lighten the heavy load that you were carrying. So it's kind of cool in a way.
It was, because, you know, here I am, an emotional wreck, and then this creepy voice comes on. I'm like, oh my God, no, what's wrong with me? I'm starting to hear voices. Like, what the hell? But yes, definitely very funny.
Right.
Very funny. And I'm just so grateful. And again, you know, thank you to everybody that has continued to reach out. I think I still have more messages to go through. Your love, your prayers are, and your support, when I say were truly felt, they were truly felt and brought me such great comfort. So thank you to everybody. Trending Thursday, you know, there's always something to be said about what's trending, and what's trending sometimes are derailments and how we deal with them. And I think one of the additional things that I can offer from that is to allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. I have done that. I've practiced that myself. I took the train home, and I made the choice. I know that Ryan was, you know, going to the center, and I felt it was at that point where I needed, you know, I'm only a train ride away, or, you know, if Gary and I drive down there. So allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. Ask for help. Don't be shy about it. And don't, before we Carol Sue and I got on to do the live, I did say I'm feeling a little depressed today.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid nor ashamed to say that. I am feeling that. And that's okay. And I'm just going to kind of go with the flow today. I got some laundry to do, some mail to go through, and it's all good because I still feel the love. And oh my God, that brings me such joy. And I will think of funny things, and I might even look up this character, Dr. Death, or whatever the hell his name is. So go with the flow, allow yourself to feel. And remember, you know, in the midst of any type of storm, there are always so many blessings. So many.
There are, and I think that's, you know, what people need to hold on to on this Trending Thursday. And we say, be the trendsetter, you know, be vulnerable, be accountable to yourself, and say, you know what, today I'm going to be kind to myself. Because a lot of times we put ourselves on the back burner emotionally, physically, and we can't do that because once you start doing that, that big mountain keeps piling up higher and higher and higher until you have that point where you're on the brink of not in a good place. So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to feel sad, to feel depression. These are all human feelings that we have, you know, embrace where they're at. But the main goal is to always be kind to yourself for where you are emotionally at any given moment. And I think sadly, too many times we forget that. So with that, you know, we are excited to be back. We were going to be talking about all things health and wellness, what's going on in our world, how it impacts our health and wellness. And we are so grateful to the so many listeners, you know, that reached out, that, you know, sent messages, and we're very understanding where we were at that given moment. And we cannot thank you all enough for keeping Jan and her family and all of us in your prayers. It was very much felt. But with that, we are going to kind of get right back into the swing of everything health and wellness. And yeah, there's going to be times that we are always raw and real. We take pride in that, because showing how vulnerable we are is also going to show you that it's okay to be vulnerable and to, you know, embrace where you're at any given moment. Because guess what? We are all perfectly imperfect, and that's the way the world works. It just is. We're humans, right? So with that, this is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, excited to be back virtually with my sister. I'm giving her a big hug, and we welcome and thanking all of you for joining our podcast this morning. And we will see you tomorrow on Fantabulous Friday. I am with
TwoSistas. Hey everyone, it's Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, on the road to recovery. Hashtag Team Ryan.
Yes,
Thank you all so much. Bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow.